HD. 12 News at 5 starts now.
Honoring a fallen Southeast Texas wartime hero with this time of silence. First, hundreds of Southeast Texans pay respects to a man who lost his life in service to our country. Welcome to 12 News HD. I'm Kevin Steele. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Jackie is off this evening. The body of Sergeant Anthony Maddox was greeted by many with heavy hearts, but heads held high this morning. People of all ages poured onto the streets of Nederland, donning red, white, and blue, offering up their support for a man who gave the ultimate sacrifice to America. Hundreds of people lined the procession route as the body of Sergeant Maddox was taken to Gabriel Funeral Home in Port Arthur. The Southeast Texas Veterans Service Group set up on the Highway 69 service road and played taps as the flag-draped coffin of the 22-year-old passed by in a hearse. It was emotional, to say the least, for many.
I feel that we owe them that because they fight for us every day.
It's nice to see Nederland come out and show our support, but I mean, we're behind everybody that's in any kind of army or anything. You know, we just want to be there for everyone and their families.
Sergeant Maddox is survived by his mother and stepfather who live in Port Arthur and by his father who lives in Indiana. He spent 2 years at Nederland High School, graduating in 2008. So flags flew over Nederland Bulldog Stadium, where Sergeant Maddox once played football, and dozens wore shirts with the number 26, his football jersey number. As the community came together to welcome home the fallen soldier, some who understand service also paid their final respects today. 12 News HD's Ellie Cano today talked with first responders and military personnel who came from far and wide to show their support.
As his plane touched down, the body of Sergeant Anthony Maddox was greeted by an honor guard from Houston, full of active military personnel, and a large group from the local Coast Guard.
Coast Guard had a tremendous presence there today. You know, they are our one military presence in this area, and they made an effort to be out here as well.
As the 22-year-old's casket, wrapped in an American flag, was taken to the hearse, the family was overcome with emotion. And once the procession began, the Patriot Guard led the way as dozens of first responders blocked the route, making it possible for Sergeant Maddox and his family to get to the funeral home.
It's a chance and opportunity for us to honor this young man and his family.
Deputy Rod Carroll says nearly every fire department, constable's office, and police department in Jefferson County were represented along the procession route.
I believe the family was quite impressed by the number of people that were standing with American flags. It says something about Southeast Texas and, you know, who we are.
Carroll says now is the time for the community to support this family.
We need to make a presence. We still have tomorrow at the funeral. You know, I think we need to let them know that we honor their son, who they cherished.
In Jefferson County, Ellie Cano, 12 News HD.
It sure does say a lot. Deputy Carroll says the volunteer fire departments from China, Nome, Bevel Oaks, LaBelle, Fayette, and Hampshire also helped with today's procession. The funeral for Sergeant Maddox will be held tomorrow morning at 10 at Antioch Missionary Baptist Church in Beaumont. After the funeral, the body of the serviceman will be transported from the church to Highway 124 and north on Major Drive before being taken to the Houston National Cemetery for burial right down U.S. Highway 90. Again, the funeral begins at 10 o'clock. Another Southeast Texas hero is today honored with a brass plaque to mark his service to his nation. Army Private First Class David Drake was one of 5 soldiers killed when an improvised explosive device went off near a Humvee in September 2011. It happened in the Ghazni province of Afghanistan. The bombing fell just 9 days before what would have been the Lumberton soldier's 22nd birthday. Today at Freedom Park, behind Lumberton City Hall, a plaque was dedicated to Drake's memory. Patrick Vaughn is on the hunt for some rain-cooled temperatures in the forecast. Are you finding any relief out there for us at all, sir?
Well, first of all, howdy, stranger,
and
welcome back.
It's been a while.
It looks like it will continue to be hot and humid and mainly dry across the area. As you can see, any shower activity is off towards Louisiana. This evening's forecast If you're headed to that pool this evening for an evening dip, how about 95, 88 at 8 p.m. under sunny skies, and 81 at 10 p.m. Hot high pressure, our high pressure cooker aloft, will keep things hot and dry through the weekend for the most part. Maybe an isolated storm Sunday, but what about next week? Got a lot to talk about coming up.
I mean, it's good to be back with you, my friend. Your forecast hasn't really changed as much from when I was here last.
That's right.
I gotta tell
That's
you.
right.
That
Could have taken the week off, actually.
That is summer, isn't it? Thank you, man. Well, he was awakened by two robbers with a gun to his face. Happened just after 4 this morning on the 1300 block of 11th Street. Police say the homeowner told them the robbers woke him up demanding his wallet. Well, he gave them the wallet while moving toward the bedroom door to prevent any of his family members from coming in on that scene. The victim told police when he did that, one of the robbers fired the gun into the ceiling and ran. Police have a description, but they have not reported any arrests at this time. President Obama today signed federal funding to help the residents of West Texas to rebuild following that deadly fertilizer plant explosion there. It was an about-face for the Obama administration, which twice denied that request. 15 people were killed and hundreds more hurt in the explosion on April 17th, rather. Several homes and buildings were damaged or destroyed. You are into the Louisiana sales tax holiday, and remember, it is very different from the Texas event. It started at midnight and continues through midnight Saturday. There will be no sales tax on the first $2,500 of the purchase price of most items. It does not include vehicle purchases, meal purchases from restaurants, hotel occupancy, amusement, recreational or athletic admissions, or repair work to property. Lots of other items are covered, including layaway buys and rain checks. Again, that continues in Louisiana through midnight tomorrow. Now, the Texas sales tax holiday, to get you all set up for the school year, will be held next weekend, August 9th through the 11th. Of course, the law gives you a break on sales and use taxes on most clothing, footwear, school supplies, and backpacks priced under $100. You will save about $8 for every $100 you spend. Online, phone, and mail purchases made on sales tax weekend are eligible. Remember that. Again, Louisiana's sales tax holiday is this weekend. In Texas, it is next weekend. The unemployment rate is now at its lowest level since December 2008 after employers added 162,000 jobs last month. Danielle Lee has been talking to economists in Washington and explains why the July jobs report just released today is not completely positive.
Thanks for calling Urban Chic Georgetown.
Retail showed the strongest gains, putting an additional 47,000 people to work. In a July jobs report that edged the unemployment rate to 7.4%, down from 7.6% in June.
The unemployment rate's still too high, 7.4%, but we're making slow progress.
Continued recovery, at least in part, depends on Congress. The average work week decreased last month, as did the average hourly earnings. Economists blame the sequester.
The people moving from full-time employment to part-time for furloughs are really picking up right now.
Money expert Diane Swank points to healthcare as an example. The industry has added 11,000 fewer jobs on average each month this year compared to 2012.
That's where Medicare cuts are starting to come through.
The mixed report comes as lawmakers leave town until September, despite a looming budget battle that could end in a government shutdown if Congress doesn't agree to a spending plan and raise the federal borrowing limit this fall.
If we avoid those very avoidable problems, I'm optimistic that we'll see the U.S. economy continue to recover.
And if not, economists warn the gains the economy has seen could disappear.
That's Danielle Lee. Economists say the unemployment rate dropped in part because people pulled out of the labor force. About a third of those unemployed have been unsuccessfully looking for work for 6 months or more. We'll be back after this break and after these striking images from this morning's homecoming for an American patriot, Sergeant Anthony Maddox.